Hi and welcome back. This is video number 3 in SEO UK's Photoshop Essential Tutorial video series. Okay, let's bring up Photoshop itself, and what we're going to do is open up our image that we grabbed earlier in the previous video, which we called Froggy. Here it is. Click on that one and click on open. If you're not sure which one it is, obviously going to the medium or large icon view can make it easier to choose the one that you downloaded, wherever you downloaded it to. So grab the one you want, click on open, and we now have our image that we're going to start cleaning up. Okay, the first thing we need to do is make sure we've got layers open. This is this bit over here on the right, which starts with the tab for layers. If you're not seeing that in your copy of Photoshop, go to Window and find the option for layers. You see, it disappears when I untick it, and simply go down, find layers, highlight it, click on it so it's ticked, and it will appear. Now layers are very, very important because it's part of what makes Photoshop so powerful. It allows us to work on different parts of an image or a graphic independently. So layers is a very important aspect. The next thing we're going to do is get rid of this white background. Okay, so let's go over here to where it says background. This is our one layer at the moment, and I'm going to right click next to the name, not on the name itself. I'm going to right click next to it in a blank bit, and I'm going to choose duplicate layer. Okay, I'm going to call it frog and click on OK. Now we have a new layer called frog. The reason we want this new layer is because the default layer, the one below called background, is always locked, hence this little icon here saying it's locked, and it can't actually be unlocked. Even if we highlight it, we cannot unlock that layer, so creating this new layer allows us to do things with it. Next, we're going to switch off the original background layer by clicking on the eyeball next to it, this here. So I've ticked that or unticked it, so that that is now hidden. Okay, it's underneath, it's hidden, we're not interested in it, it's not going to get in our way at all. Now we want to check the image is in the correct mode. So we're going to go to image. You don't really need to know much about what that means, other than we need to make sure it's in RGB mode. Basically means we can make changes to it again. So go to image, go to mode, and make sure it's ticked as RGB color. If it's not, then choose RGB color. Okay, it doesn't matter whether it's 8, 16 or 32-bit, the important bit is that it's RGB color. We're basically ready to start working on our image. We just need to make sure that we are working on the right layer. We can see we've switched that one off the background and that one is highlighted. Okay, so what we need to do next is have a look at the different tools that are available. The first 4 on the top right, top left hand are selector tools. So the first one is basically move and select. It's the move tool. Okay, the second one is for selecting an area, usually a rectangular area, but if you hold down there are other options available as well. So a rectangle, an ellipse, a single row or a single column. Okay, these 3 all have this option where you can click on it and then hold down the mouse and it brings up other options. Okay, so the third one down is the lasso tool, and the last one is the quick selection tool, but we're actually going to use it as the magic wand tool that we use quite a lot. And the magic wand basically allows us to select an area that is all the same color, such as a white background. And basically those 3 tools allow you to select different areas of the image in different ways. That said, we're going to just use the magic wand, and all I've done is click on any part of the white area, and it finds all the area that is the same color. Okay, so it's highlighted, selected, you can see the hazy line around it hopefully, and the one that also is around the frog itself. So we've got all that background color selected, and to get rid of it, to delete it, all I need to do now is hit the delete key. Now you'll need to notice it's changed from white to these square patterns. That square pattern basically shows that that is transparent. That is a transparent background. So if we put that frog on another image, it wouldn't hide the background or whatever that image was with this area here. It would just have the frog itself. Okay, so that magic wand is very, very useful for tidying up your images. When using this magic wand tool, if it doesn't grab all of the area that you want, you can increase the tolerance number here at the top and it will grab more, because some of the white may be slightly off white. It might be just a light grey, and it might not grab it automatically. By increasing this tolerance number, it will then do so. Okay, the next thing we want to do is get rid of the writing for the URL down at the bottom here. Now you can see I've still got the selection area for the magic wand activated. So what I'm going to do is just click on the image again somewhere once. Sorry, I clicked twice there. So that you can see the selection disappears. Okay, so we're now free to do something else. Okay, so the next tool we want is the rubber or eraser, which is this one here. So click on that to select it. And again, if you hold down, you'll see there are some extra options here. The magic eraser will erase everything of the same color. That can be very useful. It's something worth having a play around with at some point. But what we're going to use on this one is just the eraser tool, the regular tool. Now at the top here there's an icon we can click on that shows us all sorts of different options. The main thing to do is choose something that you're happy with for actually how it's going to erase, the format that it's going to erase. Keep it simple. You want something with a hard edge like this, and you want to increase the hardness to 100%. Okay, now the size, that can make quite a difference. If you move the mouse or the cursor over the image itself, you'll see the size of the cursor there. If I change this from 13 to, let's say, 50, again you can see it's a lot bigger, and that's probably going to be the size I want to actually do the erasing or deletion that we want to do. I'm actually going to make it a little bit bigger, 55. Okay, so I'll then click over here, and all I now need to do is move over those letters, and it just erases it entirely. Okay, so you can see having a larger or smaller eraser head, which you pick from the sides here, does make a difference. The hardness, basically how hard the edge is, whether it's got a blurry edge or a hard edge. So a hard edge is often easier to use. Okay, that's erasing the URL at the bottom. That's now done. Okay, so we now have a tidied up image with a transparent background and no URL, no writing. So lovely clean image that we can start using. So let's hit save now to make sure that we have a copy of our new image. It is worth saving on a regular basis as you're working, just in case your PC decides to crash or Photoshop decides to crash and you need to go back to an earlier version. Now in CS version 2, 3, 4 and 5, it's even more important as there is no autosave. Version 6 does have an autosave, so it's slightly safer, but it's just one of those things that it's in really good habit to get used to saving on a regular basis. Now let's choose Shift Control S is the shortcut key. Let's go to File and choose Save As and give it a name. I'm going to call this Froggy2 PSD and click on Save. Now that I've got my new cleaned up image, what I can do is in the future just hold Control and S to save it as a quick shortcut save, okay, instead of using that drop down menu. One last thing on this video, if a layer is locked and you need to get to it for some reason, to unlock a layer you can grab the padlock and drag it down the bottom here to the dustbin and dump it in the dustbin to unlock that layer. Okay, so that's our original layer that we switched off earlier. I'm going to switch it off again. That was just to demonstrate that. Let's go back to our frog. That's the image we want. Okay, so that was just, if you ever need to unlock a layer, grab the padlock, drag it into the dustbin there. Okay, thanks very much for watching. Please feel free to move on to the next video.